Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well inshallah. Today we are going to continue finishing unit or module 3 in your book Get Smart 6 for level C students. Today I will ask you to open your workbook on pages 24, be ready, 24 and 25 from your workbook. Open your workbook on pages 24 and 25. Okay, let's start. Before we start, we studied before the present perfect tense, and we knew that the present perfect tense consists of we use has, have plus the past participle tense. Okay, so we are going to continue doing some exercises about this issue. Look at these pictures with me and try to guess the meaning of these pictures, or what are these pictures telling us. Of course, the easiest one, I think this one and the last one, it's line, yes, it's a horse and a boy riding a horse. So try to guess, what is this activity? What is this boy doing? He is horse riding, yes. What kind of animal is this? Yes, it's a wild animal. So what kind of a sport do you think? It's a kind of a sport, as you can see, in the water, and raft or something like a boat, a small boat like this. So let's see. It's a fire, yes, and this one is called a shelter, a place that you use natural materials like wood, like trees, something like this to make this shelter. So let's go and find out the meaning of these. What do these pictures mean? This one, or number one, is called white water rafting. White water rafting. As you can see, he is rafting using this boat to move in the water. Number two, horse riding, as we mentioned before. Number three is make a shelter, to make a shelter, a place to protect himself from anything. Number four, cook over a campfire. This one is called a campfire. When you go camping, when you go outside the house and making a fire using wood or something like this to make a fire. So it's cook over a campfire. Number five, and the last picture, is called a wild animal, or wild animals, as I have two animals here. So wild animals. So again I have white water rafting, horse riding, make a shelter, cook over a campfire, and wild animals. Okay, and this exercise in your book, I think on page 24, workbook of course, workbook on page 24, match to make phrases, then match to correct the pictures. So I'm going to do the exercise in two parts. The first part, to match between the words to make a phrase. Okay, then which picture describe this one, whether it's A, B, C, D, or even E. Okay, you got the idea? So let's go. Let's see together. Letter A is white water what? It's a kind of a sport. Yes, water sport is white water. A shelter, riding, animals, over a campfire, or rafting. So you're going to match between the two parts to give me the phrase. So white water what? White water, yes, white water rafting. Number two, or letter B, sorry. Cook what? Cook a shelter? No, it doesn't make a sense. Cook riding? I guess not. Cook, yes, over a campfire. So you are going to match to make the phrase. So cook over a campfire. Number C, or letter C, horse riding. Letter D, make a shelter. Number five, wild animals. So I have white water rafting, cook over a campfire, horse riding, make a shelter, wild animals. That's it. Now the second part of this exercise, you are going to match between the picture and the phrase itself. Okay, number one, which one of these five describe this picture? Yes, what is this called? Yes, I can hear some of you kidding. Number one, it's called, yes, it's called with B, which is cook over a campfire. So I'm going to use the phrase cook over a campfire with this picture. So number one with letter B. Let's see, number two, what are these animals? What kind of these animals? They are called, yes, wild animal with letter E, wild animals. Yes. Number three, It's very easy. It's called horse riding. Yes, with letter C, horse riding. Number 4, make a shelter. To make a shelter with letter D. And the last one is with the first one, I think, which is whitewater rafting. Whitewater rafting. So again, whitewater rafting, cook over a campfire, horse riding, make a shelter, and wild animals. The second exercise in this page is we are going to read an email between two friends describing what he did, and he's asking you to do 2 different things. Okay, so this is an email from Frank to his friend John, telling him some information, asking him to do, telling him some information. We are asking you to do these 2 exercises. So read this email and write with me things that Frank has done so far. He has done this, or things that he has not done this yet. Okay, so we are going to read this and write together what he has done and what he hasn't or has not done. Dear John, how are you? I am at the adventure camp I was telling you about. So he is telling his friend that he is at the adventure camp and I'm having a fantastic time. I am having a fantastic time. Yesterday morning, he's going to tell him what he did, which we are going to use here and here. Okay? We went hiking, and in the afternoon, we went horse riding. So we went hiking and we went horse riding, and I loved it. I hope we go again. I hope we go again. We haven't tried sailing. We haven't tried sailing yet, but today we went whitewater rafting all day, and I'm very tired. Tomorrow we are going to go camping in the forest. Have you ever done that? I have always wanted to, and I'm so excited. We haven't learned to cook over a campfire yet. Maybe tomorrow. That's all for now. I have to go to bed. We are getting up early tomorrow morning. Bye for now. And his name is Frank. So I'm asking you now to write down here the things that Frank has done and things that he hasn't done. So we are going to change between the tense here. We went hiking, for example, in the past simple tense. We are going to use the present perfect tense, which is has plus the past participle tense. Okay? So things Frank has done so far. Number 1, we went hiking. So we are going to write down here, he has been hiking. We change it between the past simple tense went into the present perfect has been hiking. Number 2, what has he done? What else has he done? Okay? Yes, he has been horse riding. So it's written here in the past simple tense. We are using the present perfect tense again. He has been horse riding. Number 3, and the last one here, he has been whitewater rafting. He has been whitewater rafting. So let's move to the things that he hasn't done yet. He hasn't done this. What are these things? Number 1, yes, number 1 is he hasn't tried sailing yet. He hasn't tried sailing yet. And also, he hasn't been camping yet. He hasn't been camping yet. Okay? The third one, he hasn't learned to cook over a campfire. He hasn't learned to cook over a campfire yet. A few notes with me, yet came at the end of the sentence in the negative form in the present perfect tense. So he hasn't tried sailing yet, he hasn't been camping yet, and he hasn't learned to cook over a campfire yet. Okay, let's go to another reading part. It's about a zookeeper. A zookeeper is a job in the zoo, is a man who takes care of animals. Okay, who takes care of animals. Before we read, I'm going to ask you a question to find an answer while you are reading. The question is, does Ronald like his job? Does he like his job? Yes or no? Let's see. Zookeeper, the life for me. My name is Ronald White. I have always loved animals and had lots of pets like fish, turtles, parrots, and lizards. That's why I became a zookeeper. Okay? I wanted to be around wild animals. By the way, the word pets means kind of animals. They are kind of animals that you can keep with you at home, like fish. I think some of you has, yes, some pets at home, like cats, fish, dogs, turtles, parrots, and sometimes lizards. That's why I became a zookeeper. I wanted to be around wild animals. The other kind of animals are called wild animals, so I have pets and wild animals. My favorite animals are penguins. Okay? Taking care of wild animals is hard work. I feed them, bring food to them. I feed them. I clean the area they live in, and I work to keep them healthy, to be in a good health. I sometimes train them to, or give them things to play with. I often hide their food too. Playing with the food and toys helps animals to stay active. Okay? Wild animals like tigers and lions can be dangerous, so I am always careful with these wild animals. I never play with them because they can bite or kick you. Luckily, nothing has happened to me so far. Alhamdulillah, luckily. Lots of people visit the zoo every day. I sometimes give them information about the animals. Young children ask lots of questions, and I have to answer them all. A zookeeper's job is hard, dirty, and dangerous, but I love it. I think it's interesting and exciting. Before we go to the last slide, I'd like to go back to my question, which is, does Ronald like his job? Yes or no? What do you think? Does he like his job? I think, yes, he likes his job. As the beginning of this part, he said he had lots of pets. And that's why my favorite animals are penguins, so I like. At the end, I love it. So I think, yes, he likes his job. Let's go to answer these questions. And the last slide with me today. Okay. Number 1, Ronald has had a penguin as a pet. He has a penguin as a pet at home. He has this animal at home. Yes or no? True or false? T for true, as you know, and F for false. I think it's false. Number 2, Ronald feeds and trains the animals at the zoo. He feeds them, he brings food to them and train animals to do tricks or to play with them. True or false? I guess yes. True. Number 3, Ronald plays with the animals to keep them active. Plays with them to keep them active. I think yes. True. The last, number 4, an animal bit Ronald in the past. Some animal or animal in the past bit him. I think no. False. Ronald talks to people who visit the zoo. When someone asks him question, like children asks him question, yes, he answers them. I guess this one is yes, true. So today we read 2 parts. We use the present perfect tense, and we read about this man, Ronald. Thank you very much for listening and watching the video. Inshallah, you will have extra worksheets on the website, inshallah, and thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.